Okay, inshallah, we are live.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب يسر ولا تعسر، رب تمم بالخير. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به، واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا، أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي، واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم، والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen. We have been studying the chapter Humazah, the slanderer, and we studied last and touched upon it. The verse 4, كلا لينبذن في الحطمة. Now those people who keep collecting, amassing properties and keep counting them, I have this amount, this amount, this amount, this amount, and the amount is increasing. Of course, the counting relates to quantity, not quality. Quantity. Why? Because these people, by definition, only those people who regard the quality of or amount of their property in the form of quantity. It means how much property I have, how much money I have, not rather than the benefit they get from it. The quality, which kind of benefit these properties are giving to him. But of course, it depends on how a person defines himself. If a person defines himself in the form of body, of course, he inevitably will define the property in the form of body. The universe out there in the form of body. It means the universe consists of matter. I am just my body, and the property is also a body of things. So the property in this person's I will benefit their body. And the material side of this universe will produce the property, including their body. That is consistent with their way of understanding. That's why they keep counting it and thinking that, oh, this amount of property is enough for me because I have this amount of property and I have approximately this amount of life, at the most 100 years. So this property is enough for me for 100 years. But in case I must have some stocks reserved somewhere, more than I need, just in case my body may need something more. That is what they see the world from outward, from their uh, understanding of the world only as they appear to be, but they don't use their human qualities, feelings. They don't use the uh, quantitative aspect of the things because they don't really see themselves nothing more than the body. These people will think that material experience of this world, material relationship with this world will suffice their needs. Their understanding of life is this, their understanding of existence is this. So, of course, they should keep counting the amount, numbers of the properties they have. So, regarding other people's value as well, according to the amount of the property they have. They wouldn't look at human virtues, moralities, human qualities. So their criterion is such that if someone says this person is a very virtuous, highly regarded qualities, they will say, okay, how much money, how much property does he have? In the Quran, there are many examples of this, using the conflict between believers and non-believers, between the message that the prophets present to them and those people who oppose them. They say, who is following the prophet? The messenger, any messengers in the examples of the Quran. Look at them. They are all poor people with no properties, no high level of life, which means that a rich life, and they have no status in the society. So how can I join them? This is the main problem. This is the main problem. If the leaders, intellectuals of the society follow the prophet or the message of the prophet, they will take it seriously. But most of the time, the innocent, the modest, the men of truth of the people follow the prophets first because they have no arrogance in their feeling. This is what the comparison between the qualities of human beings are presented in the Quran, throughout the Quran. There are many examples of it. The way it is repeated in the Quran means for us that we have to be careful about valuing the people, seeing who is right or who is wrong, not in terms of their material status, but in terms of their human status. That's what we have to be careful about. And also, we may say, look, Islam is followed by so high regarded people rich people, prosperous people in the society. No, it is a wrong criterion that we are using. We have to be very careful. Who is modest? Who doesn't have any arrogance, self consideration, selfishness in themselves? Are they following the prophets? Are they following and supporting the mission of the prophets? That would be our main concern. That is the criteria we may use. Whether we have to take notice of the message of somebody. So the fourth the the fourth verse on the screen now, كلا لينبذن في الحطمة. No, indeed, he will be thrown into the crusher. Crusher means really uh, crushing them into small pieces. And everything is knocked down, crushed down. As if grinder, you put, for example, wheat or coffee beans and start turning the ground, or what happens? It becomes a dust. So they will be thrown into a state of mind, a state of feeling that they will not protect their identity. They will be completely crushed down, humiliated. This is mostly taken as the description of hell, life in hell. Now, life in hell will must take place in hell, in paradise, must take place in another conditions of existence. In the language of the Quran, the new creation, in some says akhirah, the end of this world, it means the result of end of everything we do. And at the end, we will be left with what we have produced in this world, not necessarily in material sense, but out of the material things, what we have produced, which kind of values, understandings, and attitude we developed. Accordingly, we will be treated in another uh, type of creation, because this type of creation is just transient, temporary. Everything dies at the end, gets old and dies slowly or in a long lifespan or short lifespan. But everybody, every being, every created being, living or unliving, animate, inanimate beings, all of them are subject to death, coming to an end in their existence. So it means in their existence in this form of life, form of being, universe. But our feelings are completely different from all these life living conditions. Our feelings never change. I mean, we can learn new things, we can change the direction of our feelings, but the expectations of our feelings never change. We want the best, we want to keep away from the worst, or worse ones. We always seek the better ones, ultimately the best one, best form of everything we desire. And this desire never changes. So our human side, our spirit, soul, is not subject to change, and the qualities manifested in the universe are not subject to change. The transient nature of the universe is continuing, but the power manifested in this transient, within this transient nature of the universe, never changes. It is always perfect. Knowledgeable creation is always perfect. Creation with wisdom, justice, balance, mercy is always present and absolute, doesn't change. It is always infinite. My feelings are always infinite. What does it mean? Infinite means permanent, doesn't change. My desires don't change. What does it mean? Neither the qualities which which are giving existence to the universe, nor me do not change. Qualities are absolute. My needs are permanent. It means I cannot direct my permanent needs to a transient being. I can only expect the absolute eternal being to be the addressee of my permanent feelings. That is why I have to look at this universe, see the qualities manifested in it, and say that which is called in the Quranic language the names of God. And when I look at the universe, I see there are certain constant names manifesting themselves in the universe. So if I acknowledge this, then turn the face of my or desires, yearnings of my feelings to this owner of the creator, it means the one you created the universe can only satisfy my needs. And it is just fitting, appropriate to each other. How can I expect this transient universe to satisfy my permanent needs? We have to be rational, reasonable people. We have to be realistic. So if I don't face direct my needs to the creator of this universe, whose qualities are manifesting in this universe and is the source of existence of this universe, what I will be left with the transient world. This transient world, I will say, come on, satisfy me. They say, I can only satisfy you instantly and disappear and leave you alone with your despair. So you will be crushed into pieces every moment will leave you in a complete despair. That is crushing that I am experiencing here if I direct my feelings to the transient world. I say, oh, if this is the case, so if I keep expecting the satisfaction from this universe itself, not the origin of the universe, source of the universe, then what I am going to be left with in a crushing experiences of or sequences of the crushing experiences of my life. Hope and fear in every moment. But in my relationship, if I direct my relationship to the source of the existence of this universe, I will definitely have a constant, permanent, assuring, appropriate qualities in front of me, and I will say, oh, the one who is the source of existence of this universe can be the only addressee, can be the only point of hope, only point of support for my expectations. So I will not be experiencing crushings of the transient nature of this world. If I don't, I will. If a person, God forbid, I don't want to be in this position, it is obviously, if you like, if you don't mind, stupidity to be in this position, in a crashing position. So I will uh, make sure that I am not of them, but those people, I am sorry, they are just uh, throwing themselves into the grinder where the wheats are grinded or ground in the form of, at the end, become there. Look at this flour. Smallest possible pieces of wheat. Like you go and buy ground meat, you cannot get the smallest parts. Yes, because if somebody uh, directs his hopes, expectations to this momentarily falling into transience of the material side of the world, he will become completely crushed into the possible smallest pieces. And then he won't have an resistant in their existence. He will be always struggling between hope and fear, hope and fear, hope and fear, hope and fear. When I use this expression, now let's come to the following verses. We have to be hope and fear of our God's mercy. But look, let's go subject, let's go different tone. I am uh, hopeful or fearful about my connection with the source of the existence of the Creator. I may forget it. I may go against this reality, take another way, and then maybe it is possible that I may follow my egoistic expectations and become an arrogant man and then follow the pieces of this transient world as to be the source of satisfaction for me. So I am afraid of following in this the irrational situation, but the absolute being is not the source of fear at the same time next to hope. Absolute fear is the source of hope only when I am the Quran describes simply paradise is the result of mercy. How about hell? Hell is not the result of fearfulness, hatred, wrath. Hell is the result of humans' own choice. Paradise is also result of humans' own choice, but whatever we choose is the best cannot really deserve the paradise, the eternal happiness. We may deserve, if I do something good today, I may be happy today. Tomorrow, if I do something bad, I will be miserable next day. But if I repent and come back, etc., I am hopeful of the mercy of the Creator so that He will forgive my mistakes, shortcomings, and will give me endless, infinite happiness in next creation. But if I think now, we have to understand this. If I think now that If I, if I, don't forget, if I direct my hopes to an absolute being, hope to an absolute being, will I be secure in my existence? Will I be secure in the expectation, satisfaction of the expectations of my uh, feelings? If I keep the contact with the creator, with the source of the universe, who has absolute qualities, I would definitely feel secure in my being as far as his capacity is concerned. I belong to him. There is no way for fear. But my fear is related to my connection to it. Let's assume and give a very, very worldly example. It means the example has it is in its nature transience as well. There is a nuclear power, electric power station, and I have connection with it. With the wire connection and everything is on, and the switch on in my house. What happens if the connection is not cut off? My house is receiving the electricity, if you like, permanently. As permanent as the power station is, my light in the house will be as permanent as I am connected to it. But who can guarantee here? I can't, surely. I admit that. I cannot keep the connection with the power station. Oh, sorry again. Just a minute. Oh, okay. What happened? Come on. This is my handicap. Let me see if it is the right sharing. I don't think it is. Is it the right sharing? No. What
It's
happened?
right.
Sorry, no.
I think it is
I
right.
know. No, I know why. Just a minute. It's right to you, but not to me. I don't see my. Excuse me again. Cancel. Oh, this is my mistake. Always it happens. I make this mistake. Always. I hope somebody remembers what we have been studying.
We're talking about the electric power connection.
Thank you very much to remind me. Yes. Okay. Now, come here. Share. I hope I wouldn't do it again. Now it is the right one. Okay, I am sorry. So, what's happening here? Power connection. If, who can say, claim, actually, my connection with the power station never gets break. It means I keep it constantly. It means who can guarantee that my feelings are always attached? I remember nothing but the source of existence of all my life experiences. I never forget it. Now, ideally, I believe in God in general, but I keep the connection with this source of existence. I never get disappointed. I never get angry. I never really think of the matter itself by the aspect of the matter which points to the creator. For example, whatever I am doing, whatever I am dealing with, for example, I am angry with my boss, and while I am treating him, I am always remembering that this event is created by the absolute being, absolute wise creator. I never feel myself that I am self-centrically interpreting the events and there is no failure. I cannot claim if there is such person among us, please say, I can do it, I'm doing it, so that I will say, oh, it is humanly possible. But it is not possible for me, I admit. It means fear and hope. The Islamic literature talk about is nothing to do with the fear and hope that we are talking about at a theoretical level. But the God is the source of hope. That's it, period. But if I if I disconnect my wire system, switch it off, for some reasons, mostly negligence, not denial. The believers don't do it as a result of denial, but some people, if they don't acknowledge the power station as constantly supplying the power to my house, then they don't connect it at all. Now, the believer says, yes, I can get the power from the station if only I keep the constant connection with it. So the power station is symbolizing here the constant source of hope. Can it be sometimes, sometimes a source of fear? This is an example. Don't take it as an in reality. Sometimes maybe human-made power stations may fail. But do you think the absolute creator has any sign that sometimes he fails to sustain the existence of this universe, to sustain the order of this universe? Sometimes he cannot sustain his wisdom, gets crazy. No, everything is created with wisdom. In the hurricanes are created in wisdom, perfectly arranged within a perfect order. So the example must be used correctly. The symbol of power station is the source of existence of this universe, God, whose perfect names never, ever fail. Here is the universe. That is why we look at the universe to see which kind of creator the universe has, so that we will direct our expectations to that creator. So God is Aha. What happened again? What am I doing? What am I doing? No, I'm not doing anything. Why the sharing pause? Did it pause? Do you have the sharing? Do you see the sharing?
No, we don't.
Why did it pause? Resume. Okay.
I can
No.
see it.
Now it is.
I can see it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me keep this one away from me. So that is why God is the source of hope only. Never forget this. My fear and hope, the mu'min, as it is described in Islamic literature, the believers must be in a state of fear and hope constantly. Why? Because I keep failing always in regard to connection to the source of existence. It means, simply speaking, to God. I keep forgetting it. I keep forgetting it. Who keeps constant relationship with God? I can't. If we see that the prophets maybe no, the prophet himself said, it is narrated, I keep asking 70 times of forgiveness. Why? So forgiveness means what? He just failed the connection temporarily. Let alone me, who received the message by himself, uh, experiencing the connection with the word of ghaib. It means word of the absolute being, experiencing the connection, who also fails in his worldly life. That shows that hope and fear lies on my side, not on God's side. This is the most misunderstood concept in Muslim literature, as far as I can see. So be careful. When I say believers must be in the state of hope and fear, perfect. Believers must be. But as far as the definition of the creator of this universe and my connection with him is concerned, God is the source of hope only. How about the hell? How about the punishment? We are the source of the hell. We are the source of the punishment. Here we go. This person, as it is described here, this backbiter, slanderer, this person, arrogant, always expects his hope from the material side of the property, is in crushing position. How do I know that? Experiencing within my own self. If I disconnect myself from the creator of the universe, I found myself in the complete despair. The matter is going to leave me alone. I am going into uh, death. It means separation from this world. So there is no hope. So if you really make it clear, you can say easily that God is the source of hope. Universe is the source of despair. My failure is the source of warning. The representation of Satan in the Quran, which is complete objection, rejection, disobedience to God, is the source of fear, hopelessness, source of despair, Iblis, despair. So you understand every vocabulary that we find in religious language, Islamic literature, must have a different place to be used. What are you talking about? Ego. Ego is the source of complete despair. Satan represents it in, I mean, in me, disobeying my spirit, because Iblis, Satan, disobeyed God's command by saying or by being Adam in the form of clay, body only. It is made up of earth. Whereas angels saw the Adam in the form of spirit, which is breathed into Adam from the Spirit of God. And they prostrated the representation of the Spirit of God in Adam, which is breathed in it. That is why they prostrated not Adam, but spiritual side of Adam, which is coming from God directly, breathed by God. And that is why our expectations has the nature of permanence, eternity. I am not satisfied with anything transient. Even I am giving 1 billion years of existence, at the end of billions of years of existence, I still want to exist. It means my expectations are eternal, because these expectations are coming from the eternal source. And this is not in the form of the creation of, in the form of transient, or it is not manifesting itself in the form of transience, but it is manifesting itself in the form of permanence. We have to understand this. We have to use our reasoning seriously, because if we don't really reason the thing seriously and take the belief in God uh, easily and at a very simple level, then we won't understand what we are talking about, what we are believing in. Religion or belief is a matter of gaining eternity or losing it. It is the most serious, most important matter it should be in our life. Whatever we do in this world, we have to always see the aspect of the action we are doing, we are performing, which demonstrates the qualities manifested in them. That is how we are expected to live in this world. That is how we are expected to educate ourselves. Unfortunately, we are being educated nowadays completely in relation with the material side of the world. Physics, chemistry, sociology, philosophy, politics, all of them are directly connected. Accountants, what are you counting? You are counting the numbers. Numbers, as the verse says. الذي جمع مالا وعدده. They keep counting and counting it. Yeah, physics, counting the numbers of atoms and subparticles. Chemistry keeps counting the combinations of the electrons, neutrons, whatever. Sociology counting the relationship with the human individuals. Philosophy tries to understand how the universe works within itself, as far as within the conditions of the material structure of the universe. Again, this material structure of the universe consists of countable atoms or subparticles. Doesn't matter, they are individual components. We have to be careful not to keep counting it, but looking at the qualitative side of it. It means which kind of meaning it has, as if reading a book is counting the letters in it. What I am doing, what a one, two, three, in this page there are, let's say, 300 words and let's say 1,000 letters in it. That is what I found out in this book. Total number of the letters used in this word is, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands. That's what I went through the book completely. Is it the way of reading the book? These people are crazy. They are wasting their time. While looking at the letters, you have to read the meaning, which they carry to you, and look at the letters in order to, or the words and sentences, in order to get the meaning out of it, the message out of it, so that you're looking at the book should benefit you by counting the numbers, how A came after B and after C, etc. C followed by D. So what? What do you get out of it? I am following the sequence of the letters. Now these materialist people are reading the book of the universe by counting the letters, atoms, materialist side of the structure of the universe. We spent 20, 30 years of studying this stupid sciences. We never, if we don't get any benefit from it, it means rather than looking at the countable side of it, meaning side of it, we can use it, but it needs training. Oh, do we get the training of reading this kind of reading of this universe? I didn't get. I think at least I spent 20, 30 years in education systems of this kind. I didn't get anything. I took religious education, and the religious education, they gave us Quranic teachings. What we did, we counted the numbers of the meanings of each word of the Quran. Counting, historical countings. It doesn't mean that we are not expected to get the meaning. It was your individual choice. It wasn't the essence of the teachings of the secular religious education. Be careful with the structure. Secular religious education. That's what is going on in the world. Don't expect much from the classical teaching of.
Brother Ali, can I
Yep.
ask a question? Sorry to interrupt. What is the meaning of secular religious education, like you just mentioned right now?
The meaning of secular religious education means counting the information you get from the Quran, for example, by counting the grammar rules applying to it, how many meanings this word has, etc., but rather than getting the message, applying it to your feelings and connecting yourself with the speaker of the Quran and submitting your being, your existence to him, using him as the source of your hope. The hope means not wishful hope. It is really your expectations as you have in your feelings. If you don't do, if you end up, if one, not you, you do, I know that, that's why. If one doesn't end up with this kind of relationship with the revelation, any kind of revelation in the form of word, in the form of universe, in the form of prophetic teachings, trainings, in the form of those people who receive the revelation and the prophetic examples and apply in their lives and get their values. For example, when you look at a person, let's say, what is he doing? He is, it is time for Maghrib prayer now, sunset prayer. So he is praying. Let me see how many rekat he is going to pray, perform. How many prostrations he is going to do while he is prostrating. How many of them? How long does it sit while, look, counting, counting, counting. How many verses he recited in one unit of the prayer, counting. Now, when you study religion, going to Cairo, you end up with learning numbers. How many rakat are there in Maghrib prayer? 3, mashallah, correct. How many prostrations are you going to do in one unit of the prayer? 2, mashallah, correct. How about bowing? 2, wrong. Now, are they unnecessary? No, they are just the cups. They are just the shell of it. Yes, without the skin of an orange will die soon. But skin of the orange is not to be eaten. Just keep there. Inside the skin, there is the juicy thing that you enjoy. So numbers are just the shell, cup. What it contains is the juicy thing that your spirit needs. This needs connection with the source of your existence and using the prayer in the right form, but the purpose is to keep constant relationship with your creator, communicate with him. This communication is not taught in the religious teaching. It is a personal choice. You can keep it, but they cannot teach this. They teach only the numbers. Farah, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Ali. So while I agree with the frame that you're using to talk about numbers and the obsession that people sort of attach with it, but just in addition, maybe because this is something that I was thinking about, the nature of numbers is also like one can also look at the meaning in them. What do these numbers mean? For example, if it is in our religious context, or even if it is not necessarily, maybe an accountant can do that, I don't know. But for example, even whatever that we find ourselves occupied with, and if it has to do with some sort of quantitative element, and it seems distracting if we just focus on the quantitative element, but if you start to look at the meaning in it, then I guess something will change about our relationship with quantity.
Thank you very much. This is a personal thing. This religious education system does not teach you how to utilize them. You have to do it. The purpose of the education system, whether religious or, let's say, secular sciences, they never teach you this. Not because they cannot teach. No, they don't aim to teach you this. They say, your belief is personal to you. How am I going to experience it? How am I going to utilize it? They don't teach you this. You are talking about the person's choice, options. Yes, there are options for you, but it will be your own effort. Do you think any physics book, physics class teach ever, teach you ever teach you how to connect with the source of this wonderful acts of creation? They not only forbid, it is taboo in secular education to talk about creation, let alone creator. God forbid if you use God in a physics uh, science section in the education system here, worldwide education system, regardless of the Muslim countries, non-Muslim countries, whatever they call it, you will be just fired away on the spot from your job. You are thrown into the street. That is what secular education is. As far as my experience is concerned, I don't exclude this attitude, not that severe one, but the education class, I have been through this classical education system and modern education system of religious education system. Thank God he gave me this opportunity in both of them. They concentrate on the what? Material side of the matter. Material side of the, I mean, I wouldn't say in religious institutions, let alone the secular one, they are already failed. Forget about them. Even the religious education system, be careful, you may be in it. There are other people among us who are in it. They teach you mushaf. They don't teach you Quran. They teach you mushaf, the literal value of the book, Arabic quality and literature quality, historical quality, information side of the thing that you read in it, you will get it. There are some people among us, unfortunately, why they don't speak as we do the same thing. Yes, I am in it and I'm experiencing the same thing. They should speak as a witness. Have they seen anyone who is teaching? There, at least I know two people, at least two, including you three people, taking religious education. Do they teach you really how to connect with the source of Mus'haf? The speech of who is manifesting in the Mus'haf, how to connect with the source. I have been through, I've never seen, I've never experienced. That's why I give no damn to this education. I use it as a cap. I use it as a how do you say, shell. And I'm trying to fill in it here with you, for example, in my private life. This is my private choice. The question was about what do I mean by secular religious education? Something is going on in the box. I love it. I love the communication. Adam, Aisha, and Assalamu alaikum. I have to leave early today. Okay, thank you for. Okay, somebody called Colin. He says in religious seminaries, talking about God is also taboo because they are not trained to talk about anything but externals. They give information, not real knowledge. I think Colin Turner, as far as I know him, he is in the field of this education. So I don't know. You tell me. Anybody tell me. I have been to an education system in madrasa, in Cairo, Damascus, whatever, Baghdad, yeah, what you or Amman. I know why I said Amman. So Amman, they taught me how to experience my, if you like, spiritual connection, which is the term I'm using in terms of the vocabulary we are using now, we have been using in this class until now. They taught me this. But they made the separation between madrasa and tekke. You experience only spiritual connection with God. Madrasa, you experience only how to know the numbers and quantitative side of the education, of religious knowledge. If you study tafsir, what you study, you grammar, you literature value of the mushaf, and historical background of the teachings of, or historical background of these informations, and which kind of experience or which kind of information Quran brings us. Oh, there was a pharaoh, and he's supported by Aaron, and this Pharaoh was most probably Ramses II, etc., 5,000 something years ago. But trash, all trash. Look at the old classical books. Only those people who say, you know, Quran must be read in terms of your spiritual experience, how to connect with the Creator through His teaching here. That's why I say we study Quran. Secular religious institutions study Mus'haf. That is the difference. As far as I understand, but if you say, you know, I have a teacher in the school, within the curriculum, not his personal choice, within the curriculum, he taught me how to communicate with my Creator, how to put my trust in Him, how to experience my life, going into eternity rather than experiencing the transience. I was subject to this training within the institution. Don't forget, not within your personal relationship. Personal relationship, here we are trying to do this. Okay. Shall we come back? All right. Here we go. Next one. What's that? Okay. Wema edra kemel hutame means this crashing. What will explain to you what the crashing is? What do you think? Anybody, please. What do you think will explain to me what this crashing is? Anybody, please go ahead. What do you think? Come on, right or wrong? I may disagree. I don't guarantee that I will agree with you and some boost you and say that, oh, mashallah, you touched the point. It is my understanding. That is your understanding. We will respectfully agree or disagree with each other. But we are trying to see what is right, what is wrong. As far as the benefit for my life is concerned, I am looking for it. Yeah. Please go ahead. Anybody? What do you think will explain us? Yeah, go ahead.
To me, I don't know. So if somebody had their hand up, but it seems like it's like my ego, or like the disappointment side, where I'm so disappointed, devastated with everything that I experienced, the transience, and pretty much with no hope.
Okay.
At the end of the day.
Thank you very much. the Feriha spoke. Feriha, you disappointed me. Why? I was expecting to say something like, Quran, the Prophet will teach me. That's why I couldn't catch the point, my point. I failed now. Now, thank you very much. It is an excellent point. Quran will teach me, but ultimately, again, I will experience it within my own feelings. You said ego, you meant my, in the language of the Quran, my own nefis, it means within myself, not my egotistic side, you meant, I am sure. So if I follow my egotistic side, you are absolutely sure, 100%, as far as I understand. Why? If I follow my egoistic side, I will find myself into crushed into pieces, right? So this this news, this verse attracts my attention and says that, have you ever thought that how can you experience this crashing event? What is this otama? Crashing things, putting yourself into pieces, that you are losing your consolidation in your existence. It means you cannot really get yourself together and make sure that your existence is secured, your life is secured, your hopes are secured. Who can tell you this? Yourself. Perfect, very hard. Perfect. So, I mean, Quran, what is Quran? Oh, Quran is telling me, hey, look at yourself. Look at yourself. Listen to yourself. Don't you have your reasoning? Don't you have your conscience? Don't you have your feelings? Yeah, why don't you listen to yourself? Why don't you turn to your own inner being rather than your material being? Yeah, it is connected to your material being, all right? But material side of your being cannot do any justice to you. Your spiritual side is your reality. Material side is going to the grave and rot there. What are you expecting from it as a human being? So experiences must be realized within our own consciousness, our own realization. So here it comes. It is very interesting. Oh, I hope we have enough time. A fire kindled by God. Oh, you see, Narullah. You see, God, Narullah. God's fire. You said God is full of hope. How can I have fire from a source of hope? Yeah, this is the nar of mercy. As a result of mercy, He is giving you this warning. This very severe warning. If you leave my relationship with you, if you disconnect yourself from the power station, you will be left in a complete darkness. This creational side of the matter is Narullah, but Narullah is the source of mercy for me. Otherwise, I would never ever become aware of the reality of being disconnected from my Creator. I won't feel it. I will cut myself. There is no pain. I won't eat, and there is no fatigue in my existence. I won't feel tired and powerless and do nothing, not be able to do anything. Of course, hunger is in creation, looks like Narullah, God's fire, but This fire is an invitation to me. Come and have blessings from my banquet. Come on, why do you deprive yourself of it? Enjoy yourself, help yourself. That is narullah. So the opposite side of experience also, the opposite of hope, experience also is created by God as a result of mercy, his mercy, so that I will wake up. I won't stay ignorant in my falsehood. A fire kindled by God. And Narullahi al-Muqada, التي تطلع على الأفئدة. This, if you like, mercy killing, mercy fire, reaches above the hearts. It means from down, the flame of this nar reaches about the heart. If the heart is not connected to its creator, it keeps remaining within its disconnectedness, disconnection with the creator. As long as I cannot reconnect myself to the power station, I will remain in deep darkness. I won't get out of it. There will be no hope for me. No one can show me a source of hope within the universe itself rather than the creator of the universe. Everything comes and goes immediately. Everything is transient. I think I caught it, immediately I get it, it disappears. I don't really get any satisfaction from it, but I may try to ignore its disappearance. So I may think that I am experiencing some sort of pleasure, but whatever I bite into anything, any delicious food, I get the taste and swallow it, get gone. And I know my consciousness constantly aware of it. I enjoyed yesterday like this. It is gone. I cannot get it back. I am enjoying it now. I am sure it will go and I cannot get it back. I won't be able to get it back. That is within my consciousness. Unless I dump my consciousness, it disturbs me. What I do while I'm eating, I keep myself not thinking of this transient side of it, thinking and making another program for my life. This today, I have this food for dinner, and let me think about what I am going to have tomorrow, because I know tomorrow the pleasure I experience today will go and leave me alone. Hopes are accumulated, amassed with each other, and all gone and go and went into annihilation, went into non-existence. At the end comes to the right end, the moment of death, the pang of death comes there. What happens? I left everything behind. Nothing is with me. Children, wife, husband, relatives, all my properties, the whole world, the huge universe cannot give any benefit to me. I cannot make another program, another project, another recipe for tomorrow's dinner. It won't come forever. Yeah, forever. That is the reality of the person who denies the real virtue of humanity, rejects his human side. No, that is the crashing moment. That is narullah. This experience is created by God so that hopefully I will wake up to myself and turn to God. It covers up all my heart. Heart in the Quran is F-ida. Qalb is different from F-ida. Fu'ad. This is the plural of Fu'ad, which means heart is heart. That is what medicine describes. So represents feeling, but F-ida represents the deep down into the reality of the heart, feelings. For example, I may say, I have a heart for this. I can do that. I am hopeful about it. But I cannot say in Arabic, I have fu'ad for this. Fu'ad, only be satisfied with the eternal source. التي تطلع على الأفئدة إنها عليهم مؤصدة. Covered them completely, all from all sides. It will be covered down upon them. It means the fire is everywhere. It means there is no hope. Everywhere is, wherever it looks. For example, last year we were in Hawaii. That's what they keep talking about Hawaii. I don't know. It must be a beautiful place. Allah's creation. Why not? If I have the opportunity, I would go and experience it. I'm not denying the pleasure that I experience through this beautiful creation of God. Example of the manifestations of God, God's bounty, God's blessings. Why not? But I haven't been there. So last year we went there, and we had lots of pictures and videos. From time to time, we just watch the videos. We are planning to go back tomorrow, next year again, next summer again. Oh, okay. Yeah. But it is going to go away anyways. What you do at the end, you start deleting the old pictures of Hawaii days, opportunities, experiences, because it is gone for the next year. For when you get to the end, you say, not finished. Can you go to Hawaii? No, doctor advised me not to travel long distance anymore. Your 30 is not enough. Okay, that's your reality. That's, you cannot escape from it from any moment. No hope from anywhere. Let's say I am a citizen of the most powerful country in the world. My state is the most power, has the most powerful military technology, etc. All right. Can the whole military power save you from getting aged, aging, getting old, and die? No. I am proud of being a citizen of that country. Also, doesn't give you anything. But I have insured all my properties, everything. I have life insurance. All right. Can insurance save you your life? Sorry. We can't. It is not covered in insurance rules, whatever they call it. The insurance company will say, I'm sorry, it is not covered. Now, this is narullah, what we experience within ourselves. So it is impossible to get out of our reality. If we contradict our feelings, the capacity, the experience, the expectations of our feelings, we will never get out of it. That is the warning we get from it. Of course, as a result, what? I will be deprived of my connection with my creator if I have no connection with my creator here. That is called the result of my choice. If I was in this position, denial position, if you say simply, and I will end up with an existence have no connection with the power station. But that's it. No other opportunity anymore to connect myself with the power station, to the power station. There is no wire available. That is my choice. It is represented in the Quran as the wrath of God, but wrath of God means if someone disconnects itself, I can say this is the wrath of power station, doesn't give me power. Did you connect it? No. Uh, it is not the fault of the power station, it is your fault. That is called symbolically in the Quran as wrath of God, Qadabullah. When we say Maghdub, for example, we mean this those people who disconnect themselves from the Creator, although, or from the power station, although they have the opportunity. Maghdub. They never think about connecting themselves to the power station. Whose fault is? Is it the fault of power station? It is my fault if I don't disconnect it. If I connect myself, it is automatically. There is no bill, there is no payment. Don't worry about it. It's completely free. Don't worry about it. Just connect yourself with your creator. For God's sake, what's wrong with it? Why do you deprive yourself from this source of pleasure? So, fi amad mumaddada, in towering columns. It means no way to get out of it. Everywhere is the flames are going up and up. It means from every aspect of our life. They will never ever leave me alone. The more I have, the more I expect the satisfaction, the more difficult it will be for me to leave. Can you imagine? I give this typical example, and it is time now to give this example again because it is a simplest example to represent our reality. What is it? If I lose my wallet, there is only $1 in it. How much pain I feel. For example, I might have left it in the shop where I did my shopping. No, no, no. I think I left it in the post office. Do you go all the way back to find your wallet if the wallet itself is not valuable for the sake of money in it? For $1, I wouldn't. It is not worth it. Will you really worry about it? No. Will you have it really nightmares about it at night? No, no, no. You will forget it on the spot. So if you have $1 million worth check and credit card, endless credit card in it, no name on it. Whoever has the card will use it. It's an imaginary example, and you lost it. And there are two possibilities. You might have left it in the post office or in the shop, in the this marketplace there. You left your old property, everything. What do you do? Forget about it, or will you have a nightmare that night, and you will make how many calls to the police? Please, 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 please help me. And you will run to the shop, and from the shop go to the post office. unless until you find it, you will keep thinking how stupid I was. I loved, I lost, I couldn't find it. That is the feeling a person is in crashing. That is the feeling the people in hell will constantly experience. No way out of it. Everywhere the flames are really towering up. Whatever you see, you call police, there is no hope. A flame towers up there. You go to the shop. The shopkeeper said, no, no one said anything. We have not seen it. Sorry. No, you lost your hope there. Another flame towering up there around your heart. You start becoming more and more excited, sweating more. And if someone says, how are you, my friend Jade? Come on, please let me. I'm in a hurry. Go to the police office, run, and post station, run there and look, ask them, have you seen any leftover or lost wallet here? They said, no, there's not here. And because there's no hope in this world, you are going to live in this world forever. What hope do you have in this world? Now, why don't you turn to the one who knows everything at every moment, who is powerful of finding it on the spot and giving it back to you? Oh, my Creator, only the source of hope, source of my endless, limitless credit card. That is what you gave me the universe. I cannot get to the end. That is the limitless credit card you have presented to me. And my feelings, limitless credit card, I am using it by attaching them to you. And you are supplying my power. You are the never ending power station for me. Qadir, the power has no end, infinite, absolute power. That is what this covering columns is covering the heart from all aspects, right, left, back, front, up, down, everywhere. Nowhere to go, get out of this person who doesn't connect himself to the source of his spirit, his creator. That's, may Allah protect us from falling into situation. Inshallah, the place where I am now is very late for Maghrib prayer. So I am going to connect myself to my source of existence. Inshallah, power station, eternal, absolute power station. Alhamdulillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We have to stop here because there are many people from New York and they have to pray now. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. May Allah be pleased with all of you. See you next